What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Fly Free Sports. We back in the building, man. Once again. Um, I apologize, everybody, man. I've been pretty inactive in my potting space, but for good reason. For good reason, man. I've been working hard on my album, so that's literally the only reason why I've been inactive. With the episodes of Fly Free Speaks, Fly Free Sports, all of the above. But I'm back, man. And of course, man, it's a special occasion because it is now football season around the corner, man. August 1st, man. I usually do my predictions online. I usually type it out, for all the division winners, all the awards for the year, what player I think gonna get them, and who I think will advance to the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. So I will be doing that in this video. As always, like, share, subscribe, man. Y'all get comfortable, man. We're gonna go through these divisions and all that. You know what I mean? We're gonna go through all the divisions. I'm gonna predict the winners and all that. But yeah. To start, the AFC North. Very, very, very competitive division. I think this from 1 through 4 is the most competitive division and the most balanced division in the NFL currently. All four teams are pretty good teams, man. You can't go wrong. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, um, Cleveland Browns, and Cincinnati Bengals. All four are very good teams, like I said. But of course, there can only be one winner in the division, and I think the safest bet, if I were guessing today, would be the Baltimore Ravens. And I say that because well, for one, they just had a very, very good season, advancing to the AFC Championship where they fought their ass off against Kansas City, but end up coming up short. Um, but they had a phenomenal season last year. Otherwise, I think the Bengals would be my close second, but I do have to see how Joe Burrow comes off of the injury he had last year. That's literally my only question mark with them, and of course their O line troubles. We'll see if they got things short up or not. You know what I mean? The Browns, very, very good team, another good team, good defense. We're gonna see if Deshaun Watson has a better year this year or if that contract was a mistake. I think that question will be answered this year with the Browns and the Steelers. Interesting offseason for them. They acquired Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. So we'll see how those guys see how that all shakes out. I believe Russell Wilson is obviously the starter. We'll see how he benefits from being in a new location under Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season. That is the most crazy stat, if you ask me, as currently going in the NFL. That's ridiculous. He's never had a losing season. I think Mike Tomlin should be saluted for that. I don't think that's ever happened before, and it probably will never happen again from a coach. But I do have the Baltimore Ravens winning the AFC North in a very, very tight race, though. I don't think they run away with it by any means. I think it'll be like nip and tuck throughout the season. But I do think at the end of the season, they'll come out on top in the AFC North. So Baltimore Ravens for the North. At the AFC South, oh, man. I hate to go like with the obvious, but I can't shy away from it though, as far as it goes in the AFC South. I think the Texans are the best team. They have the most talent in the AFC South. I think CJ Stroud is poised to have another good year. I don't see a sophomore slump coming from him with the addition of Stephon Diggs. I think it'll make life just that much easier for him. Tank Dell will be returning from injury. Houston is another one of those teams with a pretty good defense going into this year. They're just a very, very balanced team, and they were ahead of schedule last year, obviously making the playoffs and winning a playoff game and eventually losing to the Baltimore Ravens. But nobody really expected them to be there anyway. So I think it was a good start to a career from uh, CJ Stroud. The Colts, man, keep your eye on the Colts. Anthony Richardson, he was out the majority of the year last year, and they still competed. They competed their ass off last year. So they are not to be slept on, man, at all. Like I think The Colts have a very, very good shot at winning the division. If you ask me, like that's just if you ask me, like I'm not like a fan of them or anything. Like I don't, obviously, I don't have like I don't have a dog in the fight in any of these divisions other than the NFC East, which we'll get to later. But Jacksonville, of course, they just signed Trevor Lawrence to that huge contract that people are debating whether he's worthy of or not. You know, I don't like to talk about people. Y'all know how I get in. Like, I don't talk about people money. Like he's worth whatever they say he worth. You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers get with somebody determines that you're worth. Like, it's just that simple to me. Like I hate the people that oh he ain't worth that. Like yeah, okay, what are you worth? Where you work at? Yeah, all right. But yeah, I think Jacksonville. I'm not really too high on them though. I'm just not like they don't do it for me, man. They just don't. Uh, yeah, and the other team isn't even really worth mentioning. Tennessee, like, whatever, man. Like, I don't. They're not gonna do shit. But yeah, I do have the Houston Texans winning that division. Um, AFC East, AFC East, man. Interesting division at the top of it. You know who we expect to be at the bottom. So we'll just say, damn. Um, I think in a close AFC East race, I do believe that the New York Jets will reign in the AFC East this year. I'm gonna catch people off guard with that one, I know, but I do think with Aaron Rodgers back playing with Garrett Wilson, who I think is easily a top 10 receiver in the league. He just hasn't been able to show it with the quarterback play that the Jets have been putting out there over the last couple of years. Of course, Aaron Rodgers getting hurt last year. It really destroyed their whole season the first week. Um, but they were still competitive in a lot of. I mean, they were losing a lot of games and all that, but like they were still competitive too. You know what I mean? They didn't really fold. They might have won the game that he got hurt in week one. I think they did. I think they beat the Bills week one last year when Aaron Rodgers went down. But yeah, I think another closely contested division race between them and Miami. Um, I think the Bills are rebuilding, so I don't know what to expect from them. So I'll just say, yeah, I'll just have them where they at right now. So yeah, I got the Jets winning their division, man. No people some people won't agree with me, but that's who I got. The AFC West, I think this is like it's not even really a competition in that division. I don't see the Broncos overtaking them. I don't see the Raiders overtaking them, and I damn sure don't see Justin Herbert and the Chargers overtaking them. Even though the Chargers are probably the second best team in that division, you know, like roster for roster, the Chargers are probably the second best team easily. But I don't believe in Justin Herbert. Anybody who's followed me, anybody who's listened to me, like I don't believe in Justin Herbert. I don't believe the hype. Like he still ain't showed nothing, but somehow always gets a pass. But we'll see, man. They got John Harbaugh. I mean, I'm sorry, they got Jim Harbaugh out there now. So we'll see. You know, Jim Harbaugh usually does wonders with quarterbacks. So maybe he'll get over whatever the fuck is plaguing him as Jim Harbaugh comes to town. So we'll see what Justin Herbert does. I think Eckler's gone. Um, Keenan Allen obviously left. He went to the Chicago Bears. Uh, yeah, I don't believe in them. I don't believe in the Chargers. So yeah, we'll just say Kansas City. We'll keep that one short and sweet, man. And yeah, that's the AFC division winners for the wild cards in the AFC. You know, of course, there are three wild cards in each conference. And my first in the AFC would be the Miami Dolphins. Um, Coming off the season last year, another successful season, I think, for them. You know, they lost to the Chiefs in that cold weather game. Like it was ridiculously cold. They ended up losing. It's kind of like it was expected because Miami is a track team. They have like if it feels like six niggas on their team that run four tools. It's ridiculous. You know, and then in the wintertime when those games get cold, you know, and you really need to run the ball, which they did pretty well last year with Achan and Mostert. But It's like a different type of run game though. Like they run for speed. Like they don't run between the tackles too well. I guess Achan did for a little bit, but their whole offense is predicated off their speed. And when it gets to those cold months, they're a team that's not really to be trusted that much, man. Like the Ferraris don't do well in the snow, man. You need to pull out the dump trucks. Pause. Um, and they don't have that. So but I do have Miami sliding in for that wild card. Pause. The second wild card, the Cincinnati Bengals. I said a little bit earlier about Joe Burrow coming off an injury. I do think they'll play well enough to make the playoffs. It was just hard for me to take them to win the division, looking at the circumstances. I think they still are a very, very dangerous team that's capable of making a playoff run. But as I said before, they got to show me. So, but I do have them qualifying for the playoffs as a wild card. And the third and final wild card team I have are the Indianapolis Colts. I'll probably surprise you again. Um, but I do think that, like I said earlier when I was predicting the division, like I think they have a very, very good team, very, very good shot of winning the division. But I took Houston, but the Colts will be in the playoffs this year. I do believe that. I think Anthony Richardson comes back, takes control of the offense, and they make shit happen, man. I think they really, really make shit happen. It's gonna be a very, very fun season in the AFC South between Houston and Indianapolis. You know, what you probably noticed about my AFC picks, there's a big team that's been competitive in championship contenders over the last 3 or 4 years. You probably noticed is not in the playoffs, and that's the Buffalo Bills. I don't see it this year, man. I think this is finally the year where they take that real big step back. You know, no more Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen's number one target. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think Josh Allen will still play pretty well, but I don't think he'll play well enough to will that team to the playoffs, man. Like I just don't see it. I know they drafted Keon Coleman. He'll probably end up being a stud eventually, but I just like right now in that division, I don't think they're better than the Jets or Miami. I just don't believe it. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they'll be like a kind of like middle of the pack team. I don't see them being like a top 10 pick or no shit like that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. But I don't have them qualifying for the playoffs, man. So that's the AFC to wrap that up. Out in the NFC, NFC North. I might surprise people with this pick as well, seeing as how the Lions were just they looked like they were head and shoulders the best team in that division last year for the majority of the year. And even in the playoffs, they made a run to the NFC championship. Like the Detroit Lions are a legit football team. They're serious. I think they'll be around for a while. But I got the Green Bay Packers winning the AFC North, man, this year behind Jordan Love, who I think is about to go crazy, as I'll state a little bit later in the video. Um, I think the Packers, man, like if you look at how they played last year in the playoffs, they almost beat the 49ers, just like the Lions almost beat them. So they look like they hit their stride in the playoffs. So I'm expecting that to continue, man. I really am. I think they'll be able to run the ball well. I think they'll be able to sustain drives. Jordan Love got the big contract. I think he's motivated, man, to show people that he's that next guy in that Favre Rodgers lineage. I think he's poised to have a very, very big season. So yeah, I got Green Bay winning the NFC North, man. I mean, the Vikings ain't shit. And what's the other team in the North? The Bears. The Bears are gonna be an interesting team to keep your eyes on with Caleb Williams. You know, he has Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and what's the boy DJ Moore. You know, I look forward to seeing the Bears. I think the Bears have a pretty good defense as well, too. So, but yeah, I think the Bears are like a third place team though to me. Like I don't see them. If they'd surprise me if they finished any higher in the division in third. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got Green Bay in that division. In the NFC South, this one was kind of tough, man, because I don't really believe in none of these four teams. I don't believe in Tampa. I don't believe in the Falcons. I don't believe in the Saints. And I damn sure don't believe in the Carolina Panthers. I think they're still one of the worst teams in the NFL, top five worst teams in the NFL. So, but if I had to pick one, it would be the team that was most successful last year. I think Baker Mayfield showed enough. Mike Evans is still there. Um, they just keep it moving, man. It's like they're always, it seems like that team is always in the thick of things regardless of what's going on. Like you look up and they're in first place. It was weird. Like that whole season in the NFC South last year was kind of weird. But um I think they're right now, I think they're the most consistent team out of the four. So I do have Tampa winning that division. NFC East. Oh my God. This is when I hate being a stand-up nigga and telling the truth. Like, because you know who I want to win. Like, it's not even a question. Like, and who I secretly think in the back of my mind will win, which is the New York Giants. Like, nigga. Like, don't no professional sports team come before the Giants to me. Like, the Giants have been a fucking obsession of mine since I was a fucking baby. So, like, my Sundays are greatly affected when they lose, and they're phenomenal when they win. But I gotta be real. Damn. I think the Dallas Cowboys. If you ain't hear that, too bad. Um, yeah, that's it for that. The NFC West. The NFC West. I think this is a pretty clear cut division winner too. I don't think any of those teams out west can compete with San Francisco. The Cardinals ain't ready. The Seahawks, they're kind of like a middling team. Um, yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Nobody's competing with San Francisco out in the West, man. Just not happening. Sorry. Brock Purdy, I think he'll be his usual steady self. Debo Samuel back, George Kittle back. Ayuk, I know they've been trying to trade. Is Ayuk still on the team? They've been trying to get rid of him. I don't know why, but maybe it's some front office turmoil. Um, San Francisco keeps a great defense at all times. I mean, the Rams ain't shit. I forgot to mention them, but why mention them? They're not gonna win. Yeah, San Francisco, man. I don't really want to go too deep into that shit, man. Uh, San Francisco will win a division. So we're gonna pause on this part of it. I'll let you know who I think will win, who will advance to the conference championship, and who will advance to the Super Bowl eventually. After I give you my picks for the NFL awards. Now, defensive rookie of the year. It was kind of tough because there really isn't a standout rookie defensively in the NFL this year. So I went with Jared Verse out of Florida State. I think he'll play well enough for the Rams to solidify that award. So yeah, that's that. Offensive rookie of the year. I don't even really feel like I gotta say it. Like this nigga is a dog, man, and he's on the best franchise in the NFL. Like the one and only Malik Neighbors, man. Malik Neighbors is a dog, man. Like I think Malik Neighbors will enter the end. This is a hot take, right? Turn that shit up. If you listening right now, turn it up. Malik Neighbors will be a top 5 receiver by the end of the year this year. Top 5 receiver in the National Football League. For clarity, by the end of the year, I'm expecting 1,400 plus. I'm expecting a minimum 7 touchdowns. I think Malik Neighbors is the next LSU guy that's about to run roughshod over the fucking league. And I cannot wait to watch it. I know my boy Daniel Jones gets a lot of scrutiny, but as long as he's the Giants quarterback, I'm backing him. And this is the first time that he's worked with a number one receiver. So keep that in mind. He's had a garbage O-line his entire career, just like Eli Manning's back half of his career. And I think a guy like Malik Neighbors gives him the safety valve that he needs, man. I think when all else fails, get the ball to Malik Neighbors. He's going to get open. He's going to make plays. He's going to have yak. He's going to get in the end zone. He's going to take the top off the defense. He's going to do everything that you need to do as a number one wide receiver, man. He's going to play on the outside. You can even move him to the inside. He's very, very versatile. Yeah, man, I think the other receivers will benefit off that as well, like Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. Man, I know it's not a Giants video, but I just get wrapped up into talking about them. I think all of those guys will benefit from Malik Neighbors being out there and drawing so much attention. But however, he will still get his numbers, and I think he will be the offensive rookie of the year, man. So remember who said it, man. Top 5 in the league by the end of the year. Watch. I promise you. Like, quote me on that. Like, save this video. I'm gonna pull it up. Don't worry about it. You ain't even gotta save it. I'm gonna pull it back up after it happens. You know how I get down. Defensive player of the year. And this is, of course, barring injury, because this man always seems to get hurt all the time, but he's another dog, man. Like another dog. Can't hold him. You can't block him. You can't do nothing with him. And that man is TJ Watt. I think if TJ Watt stays healthy, he walks away with that award. That's a big if, though, because he seems like he's always out, man. As great as he is, he's always hurt. So we'll just see how that ends up. But he is my pick for the defensive player of the year in the NFL. Offensive player of the year. This was kind of tough, man. It really came down to me, it came down to Tyreek Hill, and it came down to the guy that I did pick for offensive player of the year, which is Christian McCaffrey. I think he does a lot for the San Francisco 49ers. I think he'll be acknowledged for that. I think he'll have another one of them years that Christian McCaffrey has. Like, I think he's the best running back in the NFL. Crazy that a white dude is the best running back in the NFL. Like, it was Derrick Henry, but he kind of, he subsided a little bit over the last year or two. Prior to him, maybe I don't know. I don't know who was the best running back in the league before Derrick Henry. But nonetheless, man, I got Christian McCaffrey winning offensive player of the year. NFL MVP now. This is where it gets good, man. I think a lot of people would probably lean towards the reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes for the award. Those are the two obvious choices. So we're not even going there. Like, we're not going there, bro. I don't believe, of course, it'll be Josh Allen with the way the Bills. It's typically a quarterback. And I don't think that's any different this year. Who I do have as the NFL MVP for this upcoming season, the money man, he just signed, Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. Another hot take. This video has the potential to either make me look like a genius or make me look crazy as hell, but I'm willing to roll the dice, man, on Jordan Love. Jordan Love will be the MVP of the NFL this year, and I'm standing on it, man. I think the Packers have a phenomenal season, and I think that's just what it is, man. So, yeah, those are the awards. Those are the award winners that I believe that will win. And on to the championship games for each conference. First, in the AFC, the two teams that I think that will advance to the AFC Championship are the New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think a very good game ensues, and coming out on top in the Patrick Mahomes Invitational, because that's what it is. Like, this nigga's been in the AFC Championship. It feels like every season that he started as a quarterback. Hasn't he? Am I tripping? Yeah. I got the Jets versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and I have the Kansas City Chiefs pulling it out, man. Pause. I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning, and advancing to yet another Super Bowl, man. I think I just find it crazy, man, that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. Like, I know people look at it like it's kind of like a normal thing, but last year they did not have a very good team, man. Like, I think their defense played very, very well in the playoffs, which allowed them to win. But offensively, that was nothing like the Chiefs teams that have been successful over the last 3, 4 years. Like, it just hasn't. Like, that was a horrible. That the receivers were horrible, and you saw Patrick Mahomes clearly frustrated throughout the season with the guys dropping balls and earning him interceptions. Like, it's just, yeah, man. Like, just nasty work from the receivers last year for the Chiefs, bro. And somehow, like, in the playoffs, the motherfuckers put it together and end up winning the Super Bowl. It's crazy. Like, they won the Super Bowl in a down year. And I think they will advance back to Super Bowl 59 this year. That sounds crazy, by the way. Super Bowl 59. Like, nigga, we getting old, bro. Like, Super Bowl 59. Super Bowl 60 is next year. It's nuts. But yeah, I do have the Chiefs representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. NFC Championship. Yeah, this is going to be one of them ones, bro. I think the San Francisco 49ers advance back to the NFC Championship against, you guessed it, the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love. You noticing a trend with Jordan Love, man. Like, I'm telling you, they had the real close game last year. These two teams had a real close game where the Packers probably should have won the game in the playoffs last year. To be honest, like, they're making that ascent, man. Like, I really do think they're making that ascent. And then in that particular game, NFC Championship, I do have the Green Bay Packers advancing to Super Bowl 59. So as for that game, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers, I got Green Bay in the upset. Got Green Bay in the upset, man. I know niggas gonna disagree, and you probably should never, ever in your fucking life bet against Patrick Mahomes, but I just got a feeling, man. Like, I don't know, man. Something's talking to me, bro. Something is talking to me. I should put in, even though I don't gamble no more. If I gambled still, I would put in a bet right now. Whatever the odds are for Green Bay to win the Super Bowl, I would bet them right now today, going into the season, without seeing a single game. The Green Bay Packers will win Super Bowl 59 this year. Don't ask me why. I just have that feeling. I just had that feeling, man. Like, I like the way they finished the season last year, even though it was a heartbreaking loss to the 49ers. Like, I feel like they're trending in a very good direction. And they just got Xavier McKinney from us, who is a very good player, and he should play very well for the Packers. I think they overpaid him a little bit, according to the cap. I'm not gonna say, like I said, I'm not gonna say he don't deserve it or nothing like that. But team wise, if we talking about the team and allocating the salary cap, they might have overpaid for him, but it is what it is. You pay for leaders, right? So, um, I think the Packers have a great season. I think their record will be something like 13-4 ish. 12-5, somewhere around there. 12-5. Let's just say 12-5. Um, I think they'll finish 12-5 and advance to the playoffs, advance to the Super Bowl, and eventually end up winning the Super Bowl. Jordan Love gets the Super Bowl MVP as well as league MVP. And I just think it's their year, man. Don't ask me why. I don't have an explanation for you. I just think they're that good. Yeah, man. So August 1st, man. I usually do, like I said, I usually do this typed out and all that shit, but I just wanted to do a video since I've been inactive. Like I said, been working hard at this album. So yeah, man, it's just that's really the only reason why I've been inactive on this channel, man, because I want to give the people a very, very good album, and I got to be tapped in. You know what I mean? So, and I think I'm accomplishing that right now. So it's a good look. It's a good look. But anyway, those are my predictions for the upcoming season, the upcoming NFL season, 2024. Y'all stay locked in to Fly Free Sports, man. Like, share, and subscribe. We outside. We're gonna get better. Like I say every video, we're gonna get better and better and better and better, man. Every fucking time. So y'all tap in with me, man. Bear with me. I'm finishing up this album within the next 30 days. And we're gonna be right back to business, man, cooking up this content. So man, y'all keep it locked in to Fly Free Sports, man. We out.